go.
So it says that we're on, I think.
It says we're on. I'm currently trying to. Well, it's
we're on.
buffering. Oh, yay!
We're on. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere. Oh
Sweet.
boy! Wow. So
I'm trying to get this to load so I can actually go to the chat. Let's see if it works here. Hang on. Here we go. Hey.
Okay. Are we good?
It looks like it. Oh. It's very. Yeah.
You have a very nice ceiling.
Sorry. Oh hell. We're okay. I'm okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're totally fine.
We're live, and it looks like we have closed captioning.
Why are you doing? Oh my god!
I don't know how it happened, and I don't want to play with any more gadgets and gizmos.
That's hysterical. Let's see how wrong they get it.
So this is episode 22 of Let's Have a Fefe of season 8, and I can't believe that we're nearing the end. But in terms of the season, not in terms of the world ending, if you ask anybody.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on one's point of view.
So tonight we are socially distancing ourselves from each other. Well, we might as well practice what we preach.
I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It is, absolutely.
And as New York reaches or has exceeded 25,000 cases, I think that we should do our part. It just socially distance ourselves. We are Arizona's longest running live stream drag talk show. We're more than just the gossip. It's the issues that matter most to you. It's your Wednesday night conversation. And for some reason, I cannot see the chat. Can you see people chatting?
I can't see anybody chatting, but I can see the chat.
Oh. Longest running, blah, blah, blah.
I'm afraid to touch anything.
You're fine. I'll take care of it. But, This is a little bit different because at first I was trying to use my laptop, and for some reason there's something different on I think a new version of what we're using to stream that on my laptop it wouldn't work, and then here I am plugging in this old school computer here and it works just fine.
Full on, with the big ass monitor and shit.
Yeah, so I have this huge ass monitor in my room, and well, let's just continue on. Share this episode as disastrous as it may be.
Half of my ceiling. I don't want to be staring at half of my ceiling. I'm going to try and bring this down a little bit. I didn't want to bring it down because of my chins. We're fine. Keep going.
Share this episode. Share the many chins from Freddie. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We're brought to you by Wigs of a Kind. Freddie is wearing a Wigs of a Kind wig.
I am wearing a Wigs of a Kind wig this evening. Look at this.
I like the look. I like that.
Thank you. My coat was actually sewn and stitched by Jodie Fosterchild.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love them.
Okay, and we're still looking at why it doesn't matter what I do, you just keep looking at my fucking ceiling, and I don't understand why.
It's about angles.
Well, I'm trying to find the right angle, and apparently the right angle is
looking into your kitchen or something.
Something. I need to see if I can find something to boost it. Keep talking, you're fine. I'm just gonna...
And we're also brought to you by Burley Barber, along with the support of our Patreon supporters, Joan, Leanne, Allison, Corey and Carrie, Best and Brandon, Casey Starr, and Patricia Mason. You can support us today on Patreon at patreon.com/Let's Have a Fefe. You can also support us.
Okay, good.
That's gross. You can also support us by tipping us on PayPal. It's paypal.me/Let's Have a Fefe, and it takes you right to a screen where you can decide on what you want. You don't even have to have a PayPal account. Just a nifty, valid debit or credit card, and then go ahead and tip us.
Is that better? Is that less?
I don't know. Hold on. You're a mess. You're a mess.
I am a mess, but it's because I can't see what it. Whatever, it's fine. I tried. I'm. I
think at this point you're the only one that cares, though.
There's just angles and chins and things, and yeah, it's fine.
I completely understand. I was worried about the laptop being down here. So
right. So I'm like,
I had books set up this high, so it would be looking down at me.
Shit. Right, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to get it Christ, I'm okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. We're fine. We're fine.
It's fine. So what'd you do this weekend?
Oh God, what did I do this weekend? So I actually attempted to be productive and started organizing a little bit of my house. And you have to understand that because of how busy I've been and all the drag crafting and shit and costumes and stuff that I've been doing, especially the last recently for nationals and prepping for that, my house is a disaster because it seems like every time I touch something, I'd clean it and then 2 seconds later everything would just explode again.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know that feeling at all.
No, you don't understand that at all. So with nothing to do, with nationals being canceled, although me still being on PTO, I was like, all right, well, let me really knuckle down. So yesterday, I actually went and organized everything that was on part of my workspace, which meant going through all the stones that I have, all the random crafty shit that was hanging out. God, this is terrible. So I'm trying to make progress. It's there's so much, so it's kind of overwhelming. So I have to do it in chunks.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to get that done yesterday. I got half of my living area basically done, and today I was supposed to do the rest of it, but I forgot. I spent all day yesterday thinking it was Sunday. But I was at Joshua Tree this morning, and by the time I got back, I had enough time to kind of eat and get situated and then relax for a little bit and then get ready for the show. So
here we are.
I didn't get to do what I wanted to do today, but that's okay. I'm not mad about it. I will do it tomorrow. Not a big deal. My dog also had piss poor timing and decided to have surgery on Friday.
Well, it's lucky that you were here.
He had he had a hematoma, which for those of you that don't know, hematoma is basically, so you have you have the skin, and then you have all the blood vessels and stuff in between the skin, and a lot of times you find hematomas on dogs and cats and stuff when they have an ear infection. They shake their head or whatever, they scratch at it, and they burst a blood vessel, and then that burst blood vessel causes that pocket between basically the fleshy bits to basically fill with blood and all sorts of fun stuff. And it's not super awesome. And Bruce, being the jerk that he is, normally it would be, fairly, easy. It could potentially even go away on its own, but I didn't want to risk it. Mm-hmm. They put him under and cut it open and drained it and all that good stuff. And they gave him a cone. And he hasn't had the cone on since we left the vet because he does more damage with the cone on than without, because he freaks out with anything around his neck or his head. He was alligator rolling and weed whacking and doing all this fun shit. It was super awesome. Asshole.
Wow. For no reason.
It was crazy. Like, I finally was like, all right, I have to take it off because there's no way. Like, I ended up pulling my back out because he was being such a dickweed. But he's doing fine. In fact, he's engaged with his blanket currently, and you'd have no idea that, like, he's got like plastic mesh, basically sutured to his ear.
But
he
hasn't scratched that up?
He hasn't been touching it.
Oh.
So I'm not super. I'm like he's doing okay. So so there was that. That took a good chunk out of my savings, though, unfortunately. But it's okay. I'm grateful that I had it. Mm-hmm. And then this week and next week, because I decided to take the PTO anyway, that I had scheduled for nationals. But I figured this would give me a good chance to take care of some things and all that good stuff. So I decided to take the PTO, and this week and next week I'm volunteering at Joshua Tree on Monday and Wednesday.
Oh, good.
Right, because I mean they still need help, and it's one of those things. Oh, and today was fantastic because today was their distribution day when their clients come in, and Wednesday. All that. Mm-hmm. And it was awesome. I guess the folks that own Community Tire Pros, which is where I get my oil change and my tires and stuff, they've always been very big community supporters. Like anybody that knows, they've always they're always at Pride. They're always very good in the community. Mm-hmm. But they actually own, I believe, like a community garden.
Oh wow!
And a bunch of stuff is ready for harvest. So they harvested all this shit and they brought it to Joshua Tree, and they just boxes and boxes of Swiss chard and red chard with like leaves that are like the size of your head. It was crazy. Fresh green onions, like big, massive green onions with the bulb still on, like just big things. Carrots, radishes, kale. Was amazing. So the folks at Joshua Tree got to take home some really, really nice homegrown, organic, like freshly picked as of like an hour before veggies. So that was really, really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So I saw that a lot of food banks and feeding programs need either money and or food.
Donations, yes.
So does that affect them? Is it hitting?
Oh no, absolutely. Like even today, while things were being distributed, some of the things that they normally wouldn't put a cap on in terms of how many the clients could take, they had to put a cap on because they don't have as much as they usually do. So any sort of donations, canned goods stuff. If anybody's got anything that they are willing to part with, please take it to Joshua Tree. They do serve, a very important place within the community. And, these are folks that need to, that don't necessarily have access to things. And I don't know how many people today just, as they were coming through, just kept thanking us for being open and for still being there. So, that was really cool.
I know that some of the restaurants have been giving free meals too for those that were in need too. So kudos to those people too, because I mean they could just totally be shut down and they're not earning any money and they're just lending a hand for those that need it. Because wow, this is something that I've never been through. So, I mean, I've been without food before, but I've never been like in a situation where we have to like cut off from each other. You know what I mean?
Right. That's right. It's a very interesting thing, and like while we were there today. The way they had it, because normally, under normal circumstances, when the clients come in on distribution day, they just come through like they would on like a supermarket. But because of the recommended restrictions and things, we only allowed 3 in at a time, and everybody was immediately given a mask and gloves, and we were all in masks and gloves as well. Anytime, we did anything or went anywhere, we changed the gloves out, so there were some, strict regulations in place today, which was good.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, yeah. No, it was good. And then, of course, tonight, I was actually, in about 2 hours, supposed to be driving to Dallas.
Oh.
So that's kind of fun. I know. Like, tonight was the night I was supposed to leave. That was it. I wasn't supposed to be on the PP. I was supposed to be driving to Dallas.
With all that has happened, it's kind of good that you didn't.
Oh, for sure. No, absolutely.
Especially with Bruce.
I mean, it's good. It's just, it's a little bit of a bummer. It's sort of like, oh, well, all right. I would like to point out that since I am home, I am imbibing with an adult beverage. This is currently what I am drinking.
What is that? Oh,
it's really fucking good. It is.
How do you pronounce that? Recorder.
Recorder Lake. It's a Swedish hard cider. It's mango raspberry, and it's damn good.
Oh, that sounds like something I would drink.
Oh yeah. Oh no, this is good shit. And I'm drinking it in my super classy, Great Muppet Caper McDonald's glass from 1981.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You probably could put that on eBay and somebody would just eat that up.
No, that's mine.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What did you do this weekend?
You're looking at it.
How's your butthole?
My butthole is coming together, other than me trying to be He-Man and lift things before it's time to. So I keep talking about this doctor scenario, and I hope that they're not watching. But so I was supposed to get a call 2 weeks after my date, which would have been Thursday. So on Thursday, I get a call thinking, okay, this is them checking up on me, seeing how I'm doing. No, it was them. It was them. But it was them calling to collect on their bill.
Are you fucking serious? I'd be like, bitch, do you not understand? I'd be like, no, fuck you. And yeah, no,
I was like, I'll put some money toward it, but is the doctor gonna call?
Right. No, that's no.
Or do they assume since I haven't called, I'm fine? I don't know. But it's been a very low-key weekend. The only place that I have gone to is to Walgreens, and that was it. I am such a baby. I do not want to experience what this is like. And like I said last week, I am a high risk. So I don't want to put myself in jeopardy anywhere.
Well, no, of course not. And I mean the suggested regulations and the suggested social distancing and things they're there for a reason. I'm volunteering at Joshua Tree because when they still need help, it's still it's a necessary service, and because I'm very low risk. Like I keep everybody, people keep asking me, how I'm doing. I'm like, honestly, this is pretty much what I do anyway. Like I literally sit at home 24/7. Like I
and that's the thing that doesn't bother me either, because unless somebody invites me to go somewhere or I have an inkling of where I want to go.
Right. And I don't even leave the house to go to work normally. So this is pretty much business as usual. Like nothing has changed for me.
Well, this is the first week that I am working from home, and it's a little bit of a adjustment because I'm so used to, if I need something, I walk over to somebody else's office and say, what is X, Y, and Z? And then I walk away and I know immediately. Right. This, I can send stuff over a chat or an email, or if I get too antsy, I call. Because I'm like, you're not answering quick enough.
I avoid calling my job, not if I can help it.
Well,
Nope.
I actually like some of the people I work with, so um, it's not a big deal. But it's really as introverted as I can be. I want to be extroverted. Does that make sense?
Oh no, absolutely.
It's
Well,
now
I mean,
that I
you've
cannot.
already been sort of in quarantine for a hot minute now, so
Yeah, so
like this.
I've been under quarantine way before this even started,
Right.
and so now I'm like, oh, now I want to. Oh, I can't go anywhere to eat. Oh,
I said the other day, I'm like, I'm an introvert and I'm pretty okay with
mm-hmm.
that. I'm like but eventually I'm going to start craving human interaction. And at this point, by the time all this is done, I'm going to need one massive fucking orgy because.
Don't invite me. You don't need that.
Just saying.
Well,
anyway, Anita Tagobog says the original Batman comes from Taco Bell from when the Batman movie came out in 1989. I have the glass McDonald's Garfield like mugs that came out in the 80s, and I have in my cabinet here a Flintstone Kids glass from, I believe, Pizza Hut. Yeah, I know, right?
Oh,
I love it.
The nostalgia.
I actually look for them whenever I go to Goodwill.
The nostalgia. I'll have to remember that because I see those all the time.
So, speaking of orgies,
whoa.
My tip tonight. You like that? Look at my segue. By the way, offside. Did you see that Sassy tried to disown dad jokes?
You what?
Sassy tried to disown me on Instagram. She doesn't like my dad jokes.
I did see that. Anybody looking for a drag dad?
She's trying to give me away for free. Please. All right, so my tip for tonight, I'm going to be talking about STIs, your status, and when is a good time to talk about this with potential partners? Because you know what? These are things you got to talk about. Just saying.
All the time.
So we talk about on the show a lot, how important it is to get tested and to know your status, which it is. You have to get tested and you have to know your status. It doesn't matter what your status is. The important part is knowing.
Mm-hmm.
But once you know your status, then comes the part where you have to talk about your status with a potential sexual partner.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of folks, it's like, well, when do I bring it up? When do I broach the subject? And it's the thing is that you have to understand that being upfront and honest about any, especially if it's a positive result. So you have to be upfront and honest about any of your positive tests, not just with HIV, which is the first thing anybody thinks about, but with stuff like HPV, HSV, anything like that you have that is positive needs to be discussed with a potential partner. They deserve to know, and then they can make an educated decision about whether they want to continue forward with any sort of a physical relationship. And that doesn't mean you have to, if you're on a dating app, not Grindr, but Grindr is, obviously if it's a hookup app, you want to be even more upfront. But anytime there's any sort of potential for any sort of sexy time, you need to talk about your status.
Not the sexy time.
Gotta, any time, whether it's a hookup app, you gotta be like, someone's like, hey, you want to come over and do this? You gotta be like, hey, so cool, I'm down.
X, Y, and Z.
Right. And you have to understand too that you can tell somebody, hey, I'm negative or whatever it is, but not everybody's going to take you at your word, and that's okay. Some people have been burned before. I know a lot of people that either their partner or potential partner or somebody has simply said, oh no, I'm fine, I'm negative, but they hadn't been tested in quite some time, and they actually weren't negative on everything, and kind of a shocker with a couple things when you end up catching something, especially with HSV or HPV. Um, and so not everybody's necessarily going to take you at your word. You can say, hey, I'm negative. Their response may very well be, cool. I'd really like to see, actual physical results. Which is totally fine. It's a very reasonable request, and it's not personal. It's not, they don't just, it's not that they don't trust you. It's just,
I know.
It's personally, it's a reasonable request. You're talking about somebody else's, sexual health and, their own well-being. And, they may be in a position where something may be, London, shut up. Oh my God, the cat.
Hi.
That may be that, maybe they're in a situation where, contracting something could put them at even a higher health risk for things. So just because they won't take you at the word, it's not personal. The best thing to do is, have your most recent results on hand, get a copy of it. It's super easy. You can just take a picture of it, bam, there you go, done, And it's okay if the person you're talking to, if they say, hey, you know what, until I actually see the results, I'm not going to get naked with you. That is also totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. Again, they're looking after their own sexual health. And, a lot of folks are sort of like, okay, well, what if I have tested positive? Like, how do I broach that subject? How do I tell somebody that, I tested positive for X, Y, and Z? And honestly,
is it easy?
You would think so, but there's a stigma attached to these things still. So, it can make folks be, very uncomfortable and very nervous to broach that subject with somebody. And because nobody likes rejection. And you run that risk. If you tell somebody, hey, I'm positive for whatever, you do run the risk of somebody saying, oh, you know what, I'm good. But I found that, you don't have to make a big deal out of it. It can be, hey, it looks like this is heading somewhere that I'm kind of excited about, but I need to let you know that on my, my last round of tests, I tested positive for RID. Easy. And at that point, the person you're talking to, they may have questions. They may need some more education. Let them ask those questions, as long as they're not being a dick about it. But, the more education, the more questions people can ask and can get an answer about, that is what helps negate the fear and the stigma surrounding STIs. If someone's not familiar with, HPV, maybe they don't really know what HPV is or how you contract it or whatever. That's one of those things they're like, well, if they ask you questions, if you know the answer. If not, be like, hey, I'm not sure the answer, but Google it. Here's some resources, and But I think most people are fairly knowledgeable about those things if it's something that they themselves have, because then they can pass that information on to, their partners and stuff. And the thing to remember is if you disclose your status to somebody and your status happens to be positive and with anything, doesn't matter what it is, but if your status happens to be positive and they tell you that they're no longer interested, you know what? It's okay. Again, nobody likes rejection, but the best thing that you could do is just keep moving and find somebody out there that
at least you learn ahead of time.
Right. Well, maybe there's, I'm a firm believer that there's somebody out there for everybody. And, if this person isn't right for you, there will be somebody that is right for you. And that maybe is, not saying that the other person is, less educated, but maybe this other person is more educated. Maybe this person has more information. Maybe this person,
more understanding.
Right. Maybe they're more understanding. Maybe, it could be different things, whatever it is. But the important thing is to not get discouraged and to, continue to put yourself out there and continue to date and continue to have partners and continue to have sex, because you know what? Sex is great. And there are precautions you can take regardless of, what you may have tested positive for. There's all sorts of things that, there's all sorts of precautions. There's all sorts of medications and stuff. So even if you have tested positive for something, it is not the end of the world, I promise.
They're quiet tonight.
They are quiet tonight. All right. Oh, did you share it on the page? Did you look on the page?
Yeah, it's on the page. And I invited people.
Because remember, there's 2 different chats that happen?
Yeah, I'm on both of them.
Okay, I'm only on one, and I don't know which one it is.
They're quiet on both. It doesn't matter.
Okay. I don't know which one it is. I have no idea which.
I think they were listening intently, and maybe they just don't have anything to say. I don't know.
That must have been it. They were just being educated and I don't know, taking notes or something.
Or maybe they're trying to figure out why I stuff gold flowers in my hair. I don't know.
I don't think they'd be very surprised at that. You've done that shit before.
I know. I have. So, what was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you, for those that are in Phoenix, there are a lot of resources that are still open.
Oh yeah, no, they're still,
they're taking the sanitation seriously, but they're still open. So
yeah, there may be slightly longer wait times depending on where you go or who you contact, but Taros is always a good one. They've got sliding scale appointments and doctors and stuff, so they're a good place. Parsons Center does free testing or testing on a sliding scale. And then, of course, there's, organizations like Ignite and Ripple that are, they pop up all over the place at different bars and events and things. And, they don't give you the full range, but you can go get a free HIV test. Mm-hmm. So there's so many things available. What?
I have take-home ones, or somebody has take-home ones.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think I didn't dream that. I know that's for real.
Oh, I'm sure somebody knows. But like I know with like Ripple and Ignite and things like that, it's a finger stick. They just.
Oh wow! Is that the rapid?
Yeah, it's
rapid testing.
Yep. Takes maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes. It's quick. It's really quick, and it's super easy. So there's really, with all the resources that are out there, there's really no excuse to not get tested. Yeah. Oh my goodness! I didn't put anything down for current events. I suck. Sorry.
All I have seen. Oh well, I'll tell you in a minute. Marissa says, I was with someone who was HIV positive, I believe. And it was hard at the beginning after I found out, but I educated myself and I realized you can lead a very happy and healthy relationship. He is now my best friend. Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like it's not, especially with HIV and stuff now, it's not the death sentence that it used to be as long as you take care of yourself and and remember that, undetectable means that it's undetectable is undetectable. So
we can't say cured yet, but one day.
Okay. So I have one thing I have noticed with current events. So the I guess I almost said the stimulus package. I guess it's sort of a stimulus package.
That's what they named it. The stimulus bill. Mm-hmm.
Right. I guess that passed.
Oh, it did?
Finally.
It's going to get the executive signature?
I guess what they came to some sort of an agreement based on what the Democrats presented, because I love the folks that are saying, well, the Democrats blocked it. No, pay attention to what you're doing. The Democrats didn't just block it for no fucking reason. They blocked it because it was a bailout for all the rich people, and everybody else got shit.
Oh, I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those. So
right, so they when the Democrats rewrote it and presented the new proposal, it was more along the lines to help the folks that actually need it. I believe entrepreneurs, freelancers, the things like people like that actually now are able to collect, I believe.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was a good thing.
Great.
It's a good thing for sure. So I believe that is happening. I don't know what's happening with it or what they're doing with it or whatever, but they're doing something with it. I have no idea when supposed checks are going to be going out.
Well,
no.
I don't know what the real truth is because I haven't fact checked this yet, but somewhere I read that it could happen like almost immediately. Like the first payment could be like immediately.
Right. That's what I think they're shooting for, is that they were trying to get it out as quick as possible. So it could very well be like the very first week in April.
Damn.
Which is like next week. I know they are trying to fast track it because people are struggling right now. Like there are a lot of people that are out of work, and there are a lot of people that just are they don't have any income, or their income has been cut in half, or their income has, really been
So I in my lifetime I've experienced both of my parents being laid off at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about it this weekend, and you cannot understand. I know people are like, well, you should have had money saved away. First and foremost, I want to talk to those people, those privileged people that were able to save that. Yes, right. Some people can save maybe $5 a check. Some people can't.
Right.
But I will tell you that sometimes the government is very helpful. It may not be gourmet meals that you're getting, because
right.
Ooh. I was telling my mom the one thing I hated about the period of when they were unemployed was dry milk. For the life of me, I cannot get over. I can remember the taste. I can remember the smell. The grit if you don't mix it well enough.
It's great when you're making, the jars of like hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm. But that's what it's intended for. But
right.
When you're poor, and that's one of the things on the list, or if you get approved, I don't know if they do a list anymore, but back in the day, you could get like certain foods or certain blocks of cheese, and Lord,
yeah. And there still are, the food banks and stuff are still operating as best they can. So
since we're talking about the stimulus package,
yeah,
can we talk about people telling people that they don't have real jobs?
Ooh.
Can I say, if you're a go-go boy, or a stripper, or exotic dancer, or a topless waitress, that is a job.
It's still a fucking job. You still get a paycheck.
They get legit paychecks on top and great tips. But I don't know who decided that people that entertain for a living are not working, but it's good enough that you go to their show every week.
Right. You'll go to their show, you'll stuff $1 in their G-string or whatever it is, but then when it comes down to it, you don't have a real job.
Oh, you pay your rent with that? Yeah, they make good money.
Right.
What the hell?
It's the one thing that I'm seeing with this whole situation is that a lot of people's privilege is really starting to kind of come out, like the things that I wouldn't have thought of, you know what I mean? Like I keep seeing people saying, well, I hope you guys are prepared, and I hope you guys are prepared, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you understand that there are some people that weren't able to go get a whole shit ton of stuff when all this went down. They had to wait till their next paycheck.
Yeah.
And their next paycheck would have been probably like on the 15th, like right around there, which means that by the time they went to the stores, there was nothing. I know because I got paid on the 15th, and I went to the store and there was nothing. There was no toilet paper. There was no paper towel. There was nothing. So don't sit there and tell people that I hope you're prepared, because if you live paycheck to paycheck, you can't. Like you literally live
I can say,
but you can't just
I see people in a light that I probably should have seen them in before. I guess I don't know, but as they say, the true colors come out. The true colors come out when you're under pressure, because you'll see the people that want to point the finger, or they want to say, "Oh, if you would have done this, you would." No, this isn't time for webinars. This is a time for, if I need help, you're gonna come through and you're gonna help me. Knock on wood, I'm lucky enough that my employer is, because I work for a school. I just found out on Tuesday or yesterday. Sorry, I'm losing track of days because I never.
Like I said, I thought all day yesterday was like Saturday.
But our governing board had to approve that we were paid while we were not at work.
Right.
In an instance, all of this could be way worse than it is. My governing board could have been like, no, this is not okay. The stimulus package. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump, as weird and kooky as he is, could have said, you know what, that's all right. I'm cool. I can go to, I can go home and eat.
Well, I mean, he's fine because he's still getting his tennis pavilion.
Where they got the Corona at?
Right.
I hope he's not going there. Oh my God.
I say all the time that I am very privileged in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. I am very fortunate. My job pays the bills. I don't always have a lot of extra, but it pays the bills, and it lets me do some extracurricular things, and my perks are good. I get good insurance. I was fortunate that I had just gotten my bonus when Bruce decided to need surgery.
Of course.
So I was able to dip in. I was saving that. Like I actually had plans for that money because I set that aside for very specific reasons, and now it's not there anymore.
But I want to say to those, there's a couple people that I put them in touch with other people. There are, like, next week, I think I'm going to dedicate some time in finding out if there's some people that do certain things, because I do have the resource to find people jobs.
Right. Well, Fry's, all the grocery chains now are hiring. Amazon is doing a major hiring push.
Yeah, and there are some jobs that, because employers, now my cat is talking. There are some employers that know that people are not comfortable coming to the office, so they will do interviews over the phone or video conference, and maybe give you something that you can start at home, and then when all this is lifted, they'll bring you in to train full time. So I want to say to people, it's okay to ask these questions when the employer calls. Do I have to come in person? Right. If I don't have to come in person, is there online training? Because some of the companies do have it. Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, I think she wants to be let out.
I've been seeing a lot of, like, it's kind of interesting. Like, I've been seeing a lot of almost like bartering going on. It's like I've seen people say, "Hey, I have I need this and I have this. Anybody need to trade? Because if you have this, I have this." But like I've handed out cans of beans. There
was a guy that, like,
I picked up toilet paper today for somebody because I was at Walmart. Walmart was restocking.
Oh wow!
And I'm set. I am set for. I'm okay for toilet paper for now. If I run out, I'm gonna be going to my friend's house and be like, "Excuse me, remember that toilet paper I gave you? Can I have some?"
No.
But like because I'm just me, so I'm not stressing too much. You know what I mean? Like I don't have 16 other people in the house with me. I don't have kids. I don't have whatever. So like they picked me up like a thing of meat at Food City last week. So when I was at Walmart, I was like, "Hey, do you need toilet paper? They're restocking. I'm gonna grab you some." So it's like there's there's a lot of this sort of,
And
you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing. And I like that. Of course, there's still the fucking privilege that's out there, but aside from all that, there's some really good things that I think that are happening.
Well, what I am, because I'm very, well, you guys know this. I'm very low key, and I like to watch what people say, and may not comment on it, but I like to watch what people say. So there are some things that I have watched, and I want to see if those people turn around or if the situation turns around on them, because just because you're fortunate enough doesn't mean that you need to push their misfortune in their face. Does that make sense? So if you need a job, please do not hesitate to ask. I can ask people. I just cannot. We'll talk about it, but I have to be careful. But I just don't. I don't want people. There are some people that I know don't do well at jobs at all, and.
Vivica says she's still working like normal.
Oh yeah.
So if it goes to HepCon Delta, then things might change. But as of right now, and I think I believe, Vivica, don't you work at a I want to say she works at a convenience store or something like that. So right now she's still working. Eddie says that private security is hiring because companies need security while they're locked down. So that's something as well.
So another thing too is join Facebook groups. Like I'm in one Facebook group that's called Phoenix Jobs. It's just plain simple Phoenix Jobs. There's another one that's like East Valley Jobs, but there's like a whole bunch. But it's just East Valley Jobs, and it has like a picture of each of those. Like it's plain simple, and people are posting jobs daily. So when people say, "Oh, I can't find a job," I'm like, "What kind of job are you looking for?" Because if I see it and I tag you in it,
I know a few bartenders, people that work in like the service industry that are now working at Sprouts. They've gotten jobs, and like they went out there, and as soon as the minute the bars closed, the minute that they were, their jobs basically laid them off, they were out there and they were like, I'm applying at everything. They went to Fry's, they went to Sprouts, they went to, so they're there. They were,
Oh yes. Don't forget to take care of your postal workers. They're considered first responders. Prepackaged snacks and water helps. I will tell you, my parents were in the military, and you're supposed to save that for like an emergency, but we never really did. They had the best chocolate. What else? Oh, you talk about you like your spaghetti in a bucket. Try getting your spaghetti out of a bag. It was pretty good. What else? There was.
As soon as this is over, Felicia, as soon as this is over, we're fucking taking a drive to fucking Payson, and we're getting spaghetti in a fucking bucket.
Because
we're taking a road trip. I'm gonna pick up Sassy too. I'll make Sassy go with us. I'm gonna pick up Sassy, and we're gonna go to fucking Payson, and we're gonna get spaghetti in a fucking bucket.
Nobody believes me when I say. If you have never seen this place, it just looks shady as fuck, and it's drive-through.
And we're gonna do it.
And
we're gonna fucking do it. Watch.
Isn't it drive-through?
Yes, there's a drive-through, which is why you say anytime we drive to New Mexico, I'm just gonna get a bucket. We'll just put it. It'll happen.
I'm gonna need to.
It'll happen.
I'm just gonna need to feed into my deductible, so when I get sick, I just go ahead and
make sure you're paid up on your HSA. Make sure you're contributing there.
It'd be like, ooh, I already knew this one was coming. I saved for it.
It's what? It's probably the best fucking the best spaghetti ever.
We're probably missing. We're probably missing out, and we're just talking shit about it.
I'm telling you, we are gonna go on a fucking road trip to Payson and get spaghetti in a bucket.
We're gonna have to do a first impression. That's what we're gonna have to do.
Right.
Do it live so everybody can see my face if that shit is actually good, they'll be like, look at that bitch. She was talking bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. As soon as this shit's done, trust me, I'm gonna get you. Just watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna make Sassy go with us because she keeps talking shit about it too.
She tried to disown you today.
I know. Bitch tried to give me away.
I think the cat is meowing at you.
Oh, does she miss me?
She's like,
they're probably like, wait, what the hell? I hear the voice. What is going on?
The dog.
Roman, I'm right here. I'm at home. Because we're social distancing like responsible people.
Why are they saying, where's Freddy? Can't they?
I don't. I'm like, I'm right there. Can he not see me? Am I invisible? I must be invisible.
There's oh, now she's making her way.
Oh, hi, Sassy. I'm surprised that none of mine have jumped up here, and I don't know why. That makes me very nervous. I'm wondering what they're doing.
She has joined the Fefe. So I'm happy about the stimulus package. I'm glad that people are able to file for unemployment. I did see that some people are. If you get booted off, try not to call the 1-800 number unless you need to change something. They say be patient. I think you get an email, don't you? I have to check. I think you get an email. If you don't get that email within like an hour or so, then
Roman didn't recognize me.
Have you not?
Oh shit. Okay.
And he tried to do a cat pun. Oh my gosh. Is Missy watching too?
And I think she was. I don't know if she still is, but she was.
Oh, you and Missy would get along just well. And so one thing that I'm looking forward to when we get out of all this mess is that a lot of businesses are closed, including the Cat Lounge.
Right.
That need our help really, 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 really bad.
Yeah.
Because Arizona does not have a waiver on rent unless your landlord is willing and able to do that.
But it's at your landlord's discretion. They haven't said, all right, you know what? The governor hasn't put down his foot, which he really needs to do.
Yeah, so
fucking douchey needs to get on the ball.
Did you call him Douchey or Douchey?
Oh. I called him douchey because he's a douchebag.
Oh, hairball time. Oh, wow. Oh God. Oh, God.
This is like live television, folks. You have a cat hocking up a hairball. And...
This is every day. You have a cat. This is every day.
I know, but not on live. Vivica, I need to go to the tattoo shop too. I need to go see my tattoo guy. Actually, that's part of what the money that went to Bruce was supposed to go to.
Which one? The reading one? Or your back?
I need to get my sleeve done first. It's not done yet. As soon as that's done, then I'm gonna have him fix my back. Would you like to pay to have my back finished? I will take the money.
I mean, hey.
If you wanna, you can get. You know what? If you wanna contribute to my tattoo fund to get my back completed, I am all about it. I won't be mad at it. If anybody else would like to contribute to getting my back tattoo completed so that Felicia can stop bitching about it, you can donate on my PayPal or my Cash App.
I mean, it's undone. It's just...
Yes, you're right. It is undone. So if anybody would like to donate to that, just to shut Felicia up. Yeah.
Oh. What are you correct about that Eddie's talking about?
That douchey, because he's a douche.
Oh. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah.
Have you started watching Tiger King yet?
No. I watched instead The Self-Made Millionaire. the Madam C.J. Walker story. And
that's on my list as well, but I'm working through this complete like dumpster fire first.
I could not, and Netflix kept every time I like ended a movie, it would like, you know how it like suggest like
right.
You should watch this, and I'm like, why in the fuck would I watch that?
It is the most fucked up thing ever. You need to watch it. It's so like I'm on like I think episode 3 or 4, and I'm like, what the hell is happening here?
No.
And Roman, yes, it will help me to finally be able to touch my toes if my back tattoo is completed.
Oh my god. Oh, Roman's just coming with the jokes tonight.
Currently, because it is not completed, it's like hindering me, like the muscles aren't working. So once it is completed, then it will like the nerves and the things.
But he knows what I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking about, though. He knows.
I don't know that he does. Most people don't see my back. I just put that out there. Except for us, like chatting naked earlier, that was.
Thanks. That's not awkward.
I took a screenshot. I'm gonna post it later.
I feel like I have lost so much weight. It's almost gross.
Oh, I know. I've lost a lot of weight too, and I'm sitting here doing things like working out.
Oh, good for you.
Speaking of working out, we do need to mention, I believe, that the Phoenix community yesterday, lost a staple in our drag community. Kiki Andrews lost her battle with cancer, and it was pretty quick from the like from diagnosis to the end. It was fairly rapid, but she was, regardless of what anybody's personal opinion was of her, she made her mark in the Arizona drag scene for sure. Yeah. And
as well as nationwide too.
Yeah, like she's one of those that any show that she was in, anything like that, like she was always just so energetic and so everything, so extra, so and I think that her presence will definitely be missed, especially in her regular shows, the shows that she was in regularly, especially at Charlie's. I know that it'll be an adjustment period, I think, once this is over and things open back up and shows start back up again, and Kiki won't be there. And so my deepest condolences go out to Kiki's family and her friends and the people that knew her and loved her. And I know that she's not in pain anymore, but it still hurts.
It was still very it's still kind of weird to think that she won't be there.
Right. And I think it's going to be very strange, at the end of everything, because right now people can't really grieve. You know what I mean? Like people can't gather. They can't, they can't, they can't be like
There's
a
no
show of Charlie. You know what I mean? Like so it's going to be a little strange, I think, once everything kind of gets back to normal. But, I did want to acknowledge her passing, because she's been a part of the Phoenix drag community for a very long time, and it's one of those things that she, like I said, regardless of what anybody's personal opinions are, because Lord knows not everybody liked her, and that's what, and she's fine with that. She would have been like, and I don't give a fuck, but I think that she would have loved the sort of the outpouring of support and stuff. And I have a feeling too that she would have thrown some shade at some people and been like, "Bitch, you never liked me. Now all of a sudden I'm your best friend."
It's true. It's true. Oh, is it 9:00? Damn.
It is. Look at that. On the dot.
But she will be missed. Oh, I think people are responding kind of late. Um, but I think that no matter where she was at, no matter what she was doing, she was true to herself, and I think she went out that way. So um, it's kind of because when I first started doing drag, not the first, people often called me her, and at first I
Yes.
was offended. But as the years gone by, I mean, I'm sure people have. She was definitely a party girl, and I definitely was not. So.
Well, I mean, there was that one time you ended up walking home from BSLS.
Yes, I don't think she's ever had that story, but but I I don't think I didn't have any bad blood with her. So I just think that no matter where you are with people, even if they are like arch nemesis or anything like that, you still grieve them, you still miss them, you still it still feels like a missing piece is
It's
there.
still a loss, regardless. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and in the middle of all of this, with everything crazy that's going on, it's just one more thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh great, and now this. You know, so
Well,
I know that there
and
are
then
folks that are struggling with
there
it.
was another queen that just passed. Oh my gosh, what was her name?
In New York,
Yeah,
off the top of my head, I can't remember. I'm
somebody.
awful with names. I'm lucky I can remember my own.
I know somebody just posted. Hold on, I want to make sure I say their name. Was that today? It was today, I thought.
No, it was a couple days ago.
Well, I will never find it because we all post on Facebook like there is nobody's
Yeah,
business.
no, you'll never find
But
it.
I will post it. I will post it. I will post it because Billy Porter even maybe I'll find it on his tweeted about it, her
Mona
talking.
Hart,
Yeah, I think so.
something like that.
And what he wrote was like just so touching that
Right.
you're like whoa, and it to me it was like oh shit another one like uh, to me, social media has put, and we all know how I feel about death. It has put it in the forefront. For me,
Mm-hmm.
before social media, it wasn't really in the forefront. It was
Right.
like you heard about a relative dying and you could kind of
Right.
tuck it away, or you heard about like a cousin dying, you tucked it away.
Right.
Now with social media, you hear about it almost immediately. You see other people grieving as well, which is helpful, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, still in the forefront. So, what I want to emphasize is that I know that people are grieving. I would encourage to the highest power that you take care of your mental health
Yep.
because we're not able to meet in person. I think that you're still holding on to the grief
Right.
um, because you can't express yourself. You can't meet with like-minded people. So, and I didn't say that earlier, but while we're in self-sheltering and social distancing, make sure that you are taking care of your mental health. If you need to call a hotline, those are easily accessible, and we can post those on the Let's Have a Fefe page. Um, if you feel that you just need to talk and I don't need to say anything, I can just listen. I'm okay with that. Um, it's just it's a very interesting time, and I don't unless you're older. I don't think even if you're older, you never experienced like the Great Depression, right? Those people
Right.
are kind of phasing out.
My dad has, but
Yeah.
he got the tail end of it. He was born in 1937.
Oh, okay. So it's just really a hard time. And those people that are not staying indoors, it's great that you're seeing the world, maybe finding a place that is open and sitting there and eating in public while the rest of us sit at home. But I fear for you because there was one article that I read that this group of younger adults, maybe college age, spent spring break together.
Oh yeah.
And they ignored everything.
Yep.
And
did you see the Florida beaches were fucking packed?
Yeah. And so, whoever posted about Camelback and social distancing, and I see like 3 people together and then 3 people over here, I'm like,
right,
guys,
right.
This is like
You're missing the whole fucking point.
That's 9 people. Like,
stay the fuck home. Like,
I mean, it's okay to go out.
I don't think people understand like the actual importance of like social distancing. Like, I don't think people understand that it's not about you. Like, it's about the bigger picture. Like, you're like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, you're a dumbass, and you're gonna get sick, or you're gonna get somebody else's sick because you're gonna be a carrier, and yeah.
And a 21-year-old died of it. So, and there's a mother pleading for her basically using her child as, this is an example of, if you don't get it, you're going to die.
Right.
So, excuse me.
Anyway, all right, we're over, so we should probably log off.
Be sure to like this episode, subscribe, and share it with all your friends, enemies. I used to say Trump supporters, but he's kind of been on good behavior. But still share it with them anyway.
But mind you that none of this is him. Like the stimulus package and stuff like that. That's not him. That's the Senate and the House. That's not him.
So I haven't been able to drink.
We're in this whole situation because he ignored everything for months. So let's remember that, shall we?
But my favorite thing to do is watch the doctor that is giving the instructions, and then after he talks, the little short guy, I forget his name.
Right.
And then watching Donald Trump walk up behind him and just totally cancel out everything he says, and he just stands back there and he's like,
yep.
Because I have to find the video, but there is one where he's like giving precise instructions on what to do, how to handle it, and then Donald Trump comes up and goes, "Nah, that's false," and then he's like, "Oh my god, oh my god."
Yep, that's what I'm saying. No, I still give no props to Trump right now because we're in this mess. We're like, this could have been handled months ago, but he ignored it. So this is why we're doing all of this now, because he wasn't paying attention to anything, and it was all fake news and a conspiracy. He's a dumbass.
And don't call it Chinese virus.
He keeps negating everything. So he can go fuck himself.
So send it to Trump supporters. Let them know how we feel.
Right.
You can subscribe to us as a podcast. We're everywhere. I keep Googling Let's Have a Fefe podcast and finding us in different places. So I think wherever you listen to podcasts, that's where we will be. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks you guys for watching. And those that watch on the replay, we'll see you next week. We'll have to video in our guests, too. I'll have to figure that part out.
We'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
This will be so
It's
weird.
Fine.
Okay. It's
you guys
a life and a half.
Stay safe out there. Please, continue to maintain the social distancing. If there's anything that anybody needs, reach out. We can put you in touch with people if need be. We can find resources for you. But just be safe, be smart, and keep being good humans.
Keep being good humans. Stop posting